All right. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's webinar, How to Pay for College, where I'm going to be covering financial aid options for you and your students. My name is Naftali Cabrales Vic, and I am the manager of College Access and FAFSA Outreach at the North Carolina State Education Assistance Authority. So, for those of you who might not be familiar with us, we are the state agency that helps North Carolina students plan and pay for their education. And we are pleased to bring you CFNC.org website where you can go for everything you need to know about the college going process, including college and career exploration, college applications, transcripts, residency determination service, FAFSA resources, the scholarship portal, local 529 savings plans, and loans. So tonight I'm going to be focusing on the three main ways to pay for college. And that's include family funds, financial aid, and gap funding. So starting off with family funds, those are going to be things like wages, both for parents and for the student, savings such as saving accounts, including using some of the cash value of a life insurance policy, for example, or using 529 plans. It's going to include gift aid, so it could be from grandparents, aunts, uncles, mentors, just anyone that might be willing to contribute towards your education, as well as a personal loan. So this is going to be different than the loans included in financial aid. The personal loan can be a loan that you get from a local bank, for example. So those are all going to be family funds. We know that parent income and savings account are a large portion of how families pay for college. So here you're seeing a report from Sally Mae that shows that in 2021, many families relied on parent income to pay for college. But there are some ways to cut down the cost of how much a family has to contribute to the college education. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Some students and families think that they don't qualify for financial aid or that it is something that only students from a very low income household qualify. Yet, it's actually the norm to rely on financial aid to pay for college. In fact, over 85% of students use some combination of federal, state, and college paid financial aid in the school year 2020 2021 to help to pay for college. So, how to access that aid? First, we're going to be talking about the different types of aid you can access. So that's going to include money that does not have to be paid back, like grants and scholarships, earn while you learn, which is can be through federal work study program or a part-time job, and loans that do have to be paid back. And we always recommend to only take out what you need. For students that are afraid to take out student loans, you are not required to do so. A FAFSA will only let you know all the types of aid that you qualify for, but you are in control of the aid that you accept. Lots of students are choosing to skip loans altogether or take out less, which is why the use of loans is on a 10-year decline, as you can see here on your screen on this bar graph. And if you need loans, take out only what you need. It's also helpful to think about what you will be earning after college to understand whether loans would be helpful for you. For example, if you will be going into a lower wage field, you may want to avoid loans because that might not make sense for you. However, if you're going to be a doctor, for example, a loan may make sense if that helps you finish your degree. But make sure that you're speaking with your family to discuss all of your options. We're going to get started with state financial aid. So the state offers two main ways to pay for college: reducing the cost of college upfront and providing need-based grants and scholarships to help making for the remaining costs more manageable. A great way to save on the cost of college is to earn some college credit while you're still in high school. You can earn credit in high school for some of your introductory college level courses in a variety of subjects, saving you time and money towards earning your degree by taking AP, IB, Cambridge, or dual enrollment courses, or CCP, that you can earn college credit for free. Note that not all colleges accept early college credit, though College Board reports that 2,900 institutions do so now. But make sure that you're checking with your admissions offers for more information and to find out if they accept early college credit. And many of North Carolina colleges and universities participate in what is called guaranteed transfer or co-admission programs. So these are often called 2+2 programs, and they guarantee your ability to transfer from a community college to their partner university if you meet the program requirements. They save students money by earning the first 2 years of credit at a community college, which costs significantly less, and then transferring to a 4-year institution to finish up their degree. If a program that offers co-admissions, this means that you are admitted to both the community college and the university at the same time, which gives you access to the 4-year university campus while still being a community college student. But do note that these pathways are limited to partner community colleges and specific degree pathways. So check with your admissions offers about whether there is a program available in your major. Many of the North Carolina colleges and universities participate in guaranteed transfer or co-admission program. And once you get the slides for this presentation, you're going to be able to click on the link I have on the screen to access the full list of guaranteed transfer programs. To help reduce the cost of college upfront, one way to save a substantial amount of money is going to be choosing an in-state public institution. When it comes to the cost of going to college, most states, including North Carolina, favor the students who are residents of their state. They charge substantially less to their residents than do other students coming from out of state. So a recent College Board report found that on average, students can save over 17,000 by selecting an in-state university where they benefit from in-state tuition versus going out of state. So as you're considering your options, it's really important that you take into account the cost of going out of state versus the cost of going to an in-state school. And to be able to get access to these in-state savings, you'll need to demonstrate that you are a resident of the state. And to do that, you will need to apply through the State Residency Determination Service at ncresidency.org. And finally, the North Carolina Promise Tuition Plan offers a more affordable option for attending a 4-year university, available at 4 institutions within the University of North Carolina system. Those are Western Carolina University, Fayetteville State University, Elizabeth State University, and the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. Tuition is only $500 per semester for students who qualify for in-state tuition and $2,500 a semester for out-of-state tuition. This equates to a savings of at least $10,000 over 4 years of attendance. And note that in addition to tuition, there are still fees and other costs associated with attending one of these 4 institutions, but this is still a great savings. Next NC scholarship is going to be for students from a household making 80,000 or less, and those students who qualify are going to be eligible to receive at least 3,000 a year to attend a community college, which covers all tuitions and fees. They are going to qualify for at least 5,000 a year to attend a UNC institution, and this covers more than half of tuition and fees. And be mindful that most eligible students qualify for even more. And I have the link here on the PowerPoint. Again, once you receive it, you'll be able to click on that link to be able to check your eligibility for the next NC scholarship. NC 529 saving plans are North Carolina tax advanced saving and investment program. You can save to cover education expenses, both college and K-12 tuition, save for yourself, a child, a grandchild, or any future student. Funds can be used for college expenses, tuition, books, fees, room and board, a computer, for example, trade school expenses, apprenticeship program expenses, K to 12 tuition up to 10,000 per year per child, assistive devices, or student loan payments up to 10,000 per person. Forgivable education loans for service, or FAILS for short, is not a program that is for first year students, but sophomores can be considered if they are already accepted into their program of choice. So, FAILS applies to those working in nursing, education, elementary education, special ed, school psychology, in the medical field like doctors or dentists, allied health like physical therapy, pharmacy, PA, and last year, over 29.5 million of forgivable loans were canceled through the service that contributed over 4,000 months of service to the state in one of these fields. So if you or your students are interested in one of these fields, make sure that you're checking out this program. Next week, we're going to be having more information available as we cover North Carolina aid in more details. So make sure that you signed up for the webinar next week if you're interested to learning more information about this program. The NC Assist loan is an education loan that helps bridge the gap between the cost of attendance and other financial aid. You can find more information about NC Assist at ncassist.cfnc.org. And when it comes to federal financial aid, note that most require completing the FAFSA, but there are a few that don't. And keep in mind that by completing a FAFSA, the student will be considered for all types of federal financial aid. So that is going to include the Pell Grant, which is a need-based scholarship, federal work study, which allows students to work through the college that they are attending, loans, including subsidized, unsubsidized, and Parent Plus. Again, the application method to unlock this aid is going to be the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA for short. Note that through the federal government also has education tax credit available. So while this doesn't provide money upfront to pay for college, it does save you money in the form of lowering the taxes you owe, and you can then redeploy those funds you would have paid on taxes towards your education. There are two types of education tax credits: the American Opportunity Tax Credit, which is $2,500 a year per child for up to 4 years towards your first degree, or the Lifetime Learning Credit, which is $2,000 a year per tax return, and there is no limit on the number of years you can continue to build your skills. But keep in mind that you can claim both of them in 1 year. I have linked this chart to the IRS developed so that you can figure out which credit is right for you. In order to claim the benefit, you will deduct the tax credit on your tax return. It does require some extra forms to include with your taxes, so make sure that you're asking the person that prepares your taxes to see if you qualify. And note that both of these are for families with an adjusted gross income of 90,000 a year or less if it's a single person, or 180,000 for a married couple. And note that both require a valid social security number or a TIN. ROTC college programs are also going to be a great way if you or your student is interested in a more traditional college experience but are still planning on serving in the military. So, Reserve Officers Training Corps, or ROTC for short, is going to be offered in more than 1,700 colleges and universities, and participants who commit to service in the military once they graduate are eligible to receive a scholarship that covers college and education costs. Note that each service branch has its own take on ROTC programs, and not all universities offer an ROTC program. So if you or your students is interested in serving in the military but still want that more traditional college experience, this is going to be something for them to check out. Also, note that for active duty service members, veterans, or a member of the National Guard or Reserves, they could qualify for GI Bill education benefits, which can be used for 36 to 48 months of education costs. So, make sure that they are checking with their VA to see if they qualify for this option to use towards paying for their education. Covering college-based financial aid. Next. So colleges and universities themselves also have financial aid available to students. Some is based on financial need as determined through the FAFSA, and some is in recognition of a student's special talents called merit-based aid. This can include things like athletic scholarships, ones for exceptional academic performance, or other areas of talent such like music or art. So when looking at grants and aid that doesn't need to be paid back, the colleges and universities are still the largest source of that type of aid. So many colleges and universities raise money for scholarships that they administer themselves and go to the students. So note that some institutional scholarship might require a separate application once the student has been admitted to the university. So they'll be able to access the scholarship portal where they would be able to complete those additional applications once they are admitted, if that's the process for that university. So that's why it's really important that students look at the colleges and make sure that they're checking out in their financial aid website sections if they offer additional scholarships. So, gap funding. There is the total cost of attendance that includes tuition and fees, books, supplies, and room and board. And you have family funds as well that are going to help you pay for college. But what happens when your financial aid that you get from the university and your family funds still do not add up to the total cost of attendance for an institution? Well, that is where gap funding is going to come in. We like to always start with community scholarships or those that come from sources besides what's available through financial aid. So, we previously hosted a webinar all about scholarships, so be sure to check that out. But for now, know that local scholarships are usually better because they aren't competing with students from all across the country, only local students. And communities want to see their own students succeed, so there is some commitment to support students at the local level. A great resource that we're sharing with you tonight is a cfnc.org/scholarships. So this scholarship portal has scholarships only for North Carolina students. So it is a great resource because there's a lot less competition for this scholarship. So be sure to check that out. Another great resource is going to be North Carolina Community Foundation, which also has a scholarship portal with nearly 150 scholarships that they offer. Another great place to look for local scholarships is going to be community and civic organizations like Rotary clubs, and others often also offer scholarships. Local chapters of professional associations. So, if you know you want to go into HR, marketing, or engineering, look for the local professional association to see if they offer any scholarships. And finally, many local communities have an education foundation that provides support for the public schools in the area, and some of them also offer scholarships for their students that are going to college. Now, note that many of the above examples are available to North Carolina students who are going to in state schools, but sometimes they also are acceptable for out of state schools as well. So, organizations typically don't restrict for students who receive the funds to have to go to in state, but make sure that you're checking out the requirements of all scholarships as you are applying to them. Education assistance has become one of the top benefits that employees look for when considering a job change, and many employers offer education assistance programs as a way to attract and retain employees. In fact, 56% of employers offer educational assistance benefits. So, tuition reimbursement is the most common benefit, where employee pays for their tuition upfront and then is reimbursed by the employer upon completing the course. Now, note that some may require achieving a certain grade, like an A or a B, in order to be reimbursed, or that you commit to staying at the organization for a specified period of time. If you leave before then, you might need to repay that balance of educational benefit back. Tuition assistance is where some employers are now starting to offer this, knowing that many employees struggle to come up with the funds to pay for tuition upfront. So rather than getting reimbursed, the employer pays for the tuition when you enroll in the course directly to the institution. Sometimes these are limited to a small number of institutions that the employer has developed a relationship with. An example of this is how Starbucks, for example, covers the cost of Arizona State University programs. Student loan repayment assistance. So 8% of employers now offer this benefit, particularly to attract younger workers who favor the benefit over a 401k retirement plan. And 529 college savings plans are offered through an employer to allow you to have funds transferred directly from your paycheck into a savings plan account. 10% of employers now offer this benefit. So make sure that you're checking out as you are getting jobs to see if your employer has any of this education assistance available for you. You can also earn college credit through exams with the College Board's CLEP. Similar to how high school students can earn college credit by passing its AP exams, CLEP works the same way for adults and anyone who wants to earn college credit through exams. This program lets you receive college credit for what you already know so that you can test out of introductory courses and move on to more advanced ones sooner, saving you time and money towards your degree. They offer exams in a wide variety of subjects. While the exams are not free, the cost is a fraction of what it would cost to take a full semester of the same course. To save even more money, you can take a prep classes in order to prepare for this exam through modernstates.org. If you complete a free prep course through them, you will get a fee waiver that allows you to take the CLEP exam for free. So you can earn college credit for free doing this. The courses include subjects such as history, computer science, math, English, and economics. They have 32 courses available in total and are all self-paced. But note that not all colleges and universities accept exam credit, especially highly selective universities. But according to College Board, more than 2,900 traditional colleges and universities already offer credit to students who pass AP and CLEB tests. Check with the college admissions office to see if they accept credit through exams. You can also earn scholarships through these programs that help you pay for the future education costs or allow you to repay student loans that you have taken. So, public service programs are going to be a great option for students who are again are looking to meet the total cost of attendance after what they received with financial aid. So, a great example is going to be AmeriCorps programs that give you the Siegel AmeriCorps Education Award. So AmeriCorps is a community service or oriented organization through which individuals of any age can volunteer in many different career fields and projects. There is a 2-year service cap, and the education award equals the Pell amount for that year. Note that you do not have to be Pell eligible in order to participate in these programs. Another example is the National Health Service Corps, which has both scholarships and loan repayment programs. So make sure that you're checking out these options to see what you could qualify for if you apply and participate in one of these programs. There are also other sources such as Job Readiness Program. A good example of this is a program called Europe, which is available in Charlotte here in North Carolina. It offers free job training. It allows those who participate to earn an educational stipend through the program, and participants can make progress towards a degree at a participating community college tuition free, and they're also able to access internship opportunities through this program. So make sure that you're checking it out if you're in the Charlotte area or planning to move to that area to see if you can participate. Savings and better outcomes. So knowing yourself is going to be key when entering college. We know that while it's common to change your major in college, about a third of college students do it, it can be very costly to do so. Even if you're changing majors at the same university, if you move from one college, for example, from the College of Business to the College of Arts and Sciences, you may have to take additional credits to meet the graduation requirements of your new major. So, to reduce the likelihood of needing to transfer, take advantage of the assessments on CFNC.org to learn more about yourself and the career that plays to your strengths. Also, knowing that staying on track as full time enrollment is going to be very crucial in saving money while in college. But for most college and universities, 12 credit hours or 4 classes is considered to be full time. However, if you do the math, you cannot graduate on time by only taking 12 credit hours a semester. You actually need to take 15 credit hours or take classes during the summer break to be able to graduate in 4 years. Now, this is assuming that a student is going in with no previous college courses already earned. So if you're participating in dual enrollment and already earning college credit, make sure that you're doing the math as you're signing up for college classes to make sure that you're in track to graduate in 4 years, to make sure that you're saving time and money on your degree. Another great resource to check is going to be College Scoreboard to make sure that you're checking out the different colleges and universities that you're planning to attend. Make sure that you're checking things like how many their students graduate and how much debt on average do they take out. You're making a large investment of time and money, so you want to make sure that you're spending it wisely. Go with an institution that has a good track record of success of students graduating and helping them land their first job. So, College Scoreboard is going to be a free resource where you can enter the university that you're planning to attend and get information on that school. So this is an example of what it can look like once you enter the school name. You're going to be able to see their graduation rate, the average annual cost, as well as the median earning of students who are graduating from that college. You're also going to be able to see the students, how many are taking out loans in order to attend this institution. And you're also going to be able to see how many students are making progress towards paying out those student loans at that university to help you make an informed decision of which school to attend. So, just to wrap up, I know I covered a lot of information and make sure that you're putting in the Q&A if you have any questions and we'll gladly get those answered for you. But to wrap up, there are three main ways to pay for college. It's going to be in the categories of family funds, which include savings, gifts, wages, and personal loans, financial aid at the state, federal, and college level, and gap funding, which includes community scholarships, employer education benefits, college credit through exams. So now I can open it up for questions. Yes, after the presentation, you will receive the slides and the recording of it so you can go back to listen to it and you can click on the links that are all in the presentation. And while you type in your questions, oh, I see a question. How do you find local chapters of professional organizations? So you should be able for your area to do a Google search and see for the career that you're looking into to see if your county has any local chapters that way. So that would be an example. If you are a high school student or parent, you could ask your guidance, your school counselor, and they probably know if there is a professional association in that area as well. For the loan forgiveness programs, do the loans have to be in the student's name or can the loans taken out by parents be forgiven as well? I don't know for every program what the rules are, but um, for the most part, the loans are going to be on the student name, and then the student's going to complete whatever service amount of years is required in order for that to be forgiven. So, in most cases, it's going to be in the student's name. So when will I receive financial aid offers? That's going to vary. Most of the time, it's going to be happening later in the spring. So you can look at March timeframe. It's a big month for students to be receiving their financial aid letters. What if the scholarship money is awarded from institutions from outside the college? What will it take away from the school scholarship money awarded? So that is going to depend. Sometimes it will, but sometimes it's not. It depends on what parameters those scholarships have. If they are only for covering tuition, or if there's more room with them and they're more open ended where you can pay for books, for housing, for other things. It's going to depend on the terms of those scholarships specifically. Are out of state students eligible for North Carolina scholarship or special funding if they attend a North Carolina state school? So, for in state tuition, that is going to be for students that are North Carolina residents. Sometimes some schools make an exception and they do offer in-state tuition to some out-of-state students, but that depends on those schools. And if the student has, sometimes they do it based on merit. To be able to do that, not many do that, but for the most part, in order to qualify for state scholarships and for in-state tuition, the student has to be a North Carolina resident. So I see a question about having difficulty locating scholarships. So as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, make sure that you check out cfnc.org/scholarships, and that's going to take you to our portal that has scholarships only for North Carolina students. So that's going to be a lot less competitive because it's a smaller application pool. So make sure that you check that out. Make sure your student if they are still in high school right now, they are checking in with their school counselor. A lot of times, local scholarships that are smaller and specific to the school or specific to that district, the counselor knows about them. So they are going to be a great resource for your students to be able to find scholarships. So, does financial aid help with living in dorms? Again, that is going to depend on the scholarship that you get. Sometimes they're only for tuition and fees, but there are some that will allow you to cover the cost of room and board as well. So, that's going to depend on your specific scholarships. Okay, those were all great questions. And while you are getting some more questions in, I want to make sure that I share the information for our upcoming webinars. So throughout the month of February, every Monday, we're going to be having a different webinar covering a financial aid topic. So next week, we're going to be covering North Carolina state aid specifically. And then Monday, February 17th, we're going to have a FAFSA walkthrough. So if you and your student are currently in the process of filling out the FAFSA, if you have questions, make sure that you join that webinar to get help. And then on Monday, February 24th, sorry, we're going to be having a webinar evaluating financial aid offers. So once you do get those offers, we're going to show you how you can compare them to make sure that you are understanding everything that you're receiving and what your total cost might be after those funds. So make sure you go to cfnc.org/events to register for one of our upcoming webinars. So I'll give a few more minutes for questions. Does anyone have any other questions that they would like to have answered? Again, housekeeping, we will have this recording available for you all as well as the presentation slides. So how far in advance do you typically apply for loans? So this is going to depend. So you can see once you complete the free application for federal student aid or FAFSA, you're going to be able to see what federal loans you qualify for already. And then when you get accepted into an institution, you're going to be able to see your financial aid offer letter. And in there, if you decide to go to a specific university, you're going to be able to accept or decline aid. And there, you're going to be able to accept those federal loans if you choose to at that time. If you are thinking of a private loan that's separate, then you can apply to that on your own after you see what your total cost of attendance is going to be. And after you've examined how much financial aid you have, if you have any extra that needs to be covered in that gap funding category, then that would be the time. But I would say to wait to apply for loans after you've received your financial aid offer letter and you see how much aid you have that does not have to be paid back first. And I have a question about the best time to apply for FAFSA. So we always say as soon as possible. Um, March is not too late to apply for the FAFSA then, but again, because the funds could run out, we always say to apply as early as you can. The application is open now. Again, on February 17th, we're going to be doing a FAFSA walkthrough webinar. So if you have any questions about the form, then make sure that you're signing up for that webinar so that you can see the step by step on how to fill it out. But there is not a best or worst time to complete the FAFSA. Just as soon as you're able to gather all your documents, get it done as soon as possible. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.